Now, let's take a look at your top story. Vote tallying is underway in Tanzania hours after yesterday's general elections, although voting was delayed until today at some polling stations due to a shortage of voting materials. Voters in the East African nation are electing a president as well as parliamentary and local government representatives. Results from various polling centres have started trickling into the National Tally Centre, but it is too early to tell who among the two main candidates is in the lead. Early last night, the opposition party Chadema said that police had raided its tally centre in Dar es Salaam and arrested its representatives. Police did not respond to media queries on the arrest. In most polling centres, the opposition and the ruling party CCM have agents who are observing the ongoing vote counting process. The National Election Commission says the first presidential results will be announced mid-afternoon today and that the winner in the presidential elections will be known by Thursday. Now, for the latest there on the story, we now cross live to Morogoro in Tanzania, where our contributing editor Vuyo Mvoko is standing by. Very good morning to you, Vuyo. And can you tell us what is the latest there?
Well, thanks very much, Elvis, and welcome to Morogoro. You may see the image behind me. Many people will recognize it. It's the image of Solomon Mahlangu. We're standing right in front of the Solomon Mahlangu College, which is now the campus of the local university here. But we'll tell you about that a little later on. To go back to the results, yes, of course, overnight there were a few incidents, as the parties and the Electoral Commission have said, but they hope to iron out some of the remaining problems, including areas where there were shortages of ballot papers, which you mentioned. But of course, overall, the counting continues. And later today, at the earliest, we're expecting the first set of results. At the moment, nothing has really come through. However, the local media has, of course, been able, using party agents and sources of theirs, to sort of start getting a sense of where things are or where some of the strongholds, known strongholds, have gone. But at the moment, there is no absolutely clear picture of where things may go. Elvis?
So you say that the local media has got a sense, but what sort of sense are they getting?
Well, it's really people looking at regions and strongholds, which is nowhere near giving you a sense, like a sense of who's winning and who's losing at this stage. People would go to a particular locality, and because they know that it is party A's stronghold, and then they would talk about that. Conversations would be about that. They would tweet or put stuff on Facebook on those particular issues. Remember, even in the run-up to the election itself, I mean, there were polls that were, all the polls, well, both polls that we sort of particularly looked at wouldn't give you the nuanced stuff. It was mostly the overall picture, which both polls as well as pundits said the election would go to the ruling party, Chama Pinduzi. But that is certainly not absolute. We don't know how the people voted, and that dilemma sort of continues because no one at this stage seems to be having any sense of really whether the final outcome will confirm those polls or whether, in fact, things have changed, as the opposition has been claiming and continues to claim.
Now, there was also a report that early last night, the opposition party Chadema said that the police had raided its tally centre in Dar es Salaam and they arrested the representatives. What came out of that one?
Well, the Electoral Commission hasn't said anything, as we have said in what we sent through today. We are no wiser, no clearer about what exactly is going on there, and whether, in fact, we haven't received even confirmation of that information at this stage. So we are no wiser.
Overall, Vuyo, there was some talk that there might be some post-violence elections, but at this point in time, it doesn't seem like it's very calm in the country.
Well, as some people would recall from the piece we sent last night, yes, there were problems, and everybody accepts that. In the one instance, for example, the place where we went to just about 12 or so kilometers from what is now the Result Center, which is the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center. There was a big problem there where the ballot papers for the local for the local poll, where there was a huge shortage of that. In other words, they seem not to have sent to that polling station the same number of ballot papers that they had sent for the legislative and the national election, resulting in a chaotic state of affairs. Police had to be brought in, but they soon calmed the situation down, and the local leaders actually exercised leadership, and I'm including here the officials of the National Electoral Commission, because in a very short space of time they got together. Something of a public meeting was held, and all the people who were there accepted that there was a problem, but they felt that the poll, the election, and its credibility was more important than anyone trying to score little political points. And as a result, they managed the situation. They went ahead with voting, but postponing the local element of that voting, and everything went smoothly. And elsewhere, there were no major problems. We did have, speak to some of the observer missions, including we spoke to the head of the East Africa Community Observer Mission, who said, by and large, everything went well. Yes, there were problems here and there, but none of those problems were big enough to really give anyone an impression that things didn't go well, or things were rigged, or the Electoral Commission didn't do its work. So overall, I think it's the kind of poll that Tanzanians would be and should be proud of. It is a much, much better election, well managed or better managed than the polls we've seen in other countries in this same region, where we saw incidents of violence, people barricading streets with like burning tires and bricks, hurling stones at the police. None of that happened here in Tanzania.
Vuyo, thank you so much for that update. That's our contributing editor, SABC's contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko. He's in Tanzania.